Hello, Montessorians, and thank you so much for joining us for another coaching call. We do this every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Deneen is not with us today. Sadly, her little guy's sick, so she had to go pick him up from school. So I'm filling in. The calendar has this as an Ask Me Anything. I'm actually going to pivot a little bit, and I want to talk about the newest offer that we're about to make. It's going to launch January 1st officially, but it's available to our members now. And that is our Montessori website themes, which I'm really excited about. So if you're watching this live, thanks for being here. If you're watching the recording, feel free to reach out to us with any questions. I'm just going to glaze over this briefly and then hopefully open up the forum for any questions on our forum or our Facebook group. But let me share my screen and you can see a page that is not yet live on our website. So just full disclosure, this is still behind the scenes. What we plan on doing is increasing the cost of our second plane. So second plane right now is $47. Starting the first of the year, it's going to move up to $97. Now, if you're a second plane member, you're grandfathered in forever. And if you want to buy the second plane before the change, you'll be grandfathered in forever. And what will end up happening is the second plane is going to include, among other things, our website theme, which is a licensing agreement that includes hosting, uptime monitoring, any hack support, hack assurance, etc. But what we have found is, as we're helping schools market themselves, the biggest single fail point has been the website. It's been the thing that's held everybody back. And so we decided, you know what, we're just going to solve this problem on behalf of all of our schools. So we've created websites built specifically for Montessori schools. And these have been data-driven decisions. So what I mean by that is we have almost 1,000 member schools, which means that we've been able to access, different analytics reports, different websites, and we've had the opportunity over the past 2.5 years to really see what works. And so we built website themes around those learning lessons, I'll say. So it's relatively easy to roll out. What's cool about our website themes, and I'll share some of the specifics here in just a moment. I'll actually pull up the themes so you can see exactly how they look, but and how they function. You can choose any one of the themes that we have available. There's 5 at the moment, and we plan on building one more before the end of the year. And then you can make the changes yourself, or you can pay us to do it. And then once that's done, you have the ability to manage your website on your own in perpetuity. So here's what the themes look like, and we'll open each one of these and just go over them briefly. You might recognize website theme number 1. This is the oldest theme that we have, and it's been floating around. But what's cool about the preview, once this page goes live, is you can see what the websites look like in desktop and laptop view, tablet view, and then of course on a smartphone. And then in the smartphone view, you can see different device types, Android, Apple, etc. You'll notice each of the websites, it comes with a pre-existing sitemap, and the sitemaps are all based specifically on what we think a Montessori school content should look like. Now, these sitemaps are a little bit more robust than I expect your site to be. For instance, you'll notice that there's a lot of menu items here. I don't think everybody's going to have every page, but we wanted to show you what each of these pages could look like. So during our onboarding process, you'll have the opportunity to tell us what pages you want to keep, what pages you want to delete, what pages you want to add. And everything is customizable, and I can't make that point enough. So, if you see blue and you want this to be yellow, all the colors are customizable. The logo will be your logo. All the photos are customizable. The menu is customizable. All the content is customizable. So when you're choosing your theme, what you really want to look for is framework, because the framework is going to remain relatively static. So here's theme number 1. And here's theme number 2, which is my favorite. I probably shouldn't say that, but I have a favorite. And you'll notice things like, we have a Calendly screenshot here to show you where the Calendly embed would go. Here's where we would display your programs. And just because, you might say, hey, I don't have a summer program, or I don't have an infant program. That's okay. We can remove this tab, and then you'll see the rest of the tabs. You'll notice that somebody made the comment that a lot of the themes look the same. I don't think that's necessarily true, as much as we're using the same images across all the themes, because we're using our stock photo library. So when you see how these themes tend to look when customized, I think you'll find that they're very unique. Because if we were to change this theme and change the colors to be your colors, change the logo to be your logo, change the content to be your content, change the images to be your images, it's going to be an entirely new website. And I know that because we have about a dozen schools or so on our theme number 1, and every single one of them looks entirely different. So this is theme number 2. Here's theme number 3. And kind of some cute imagery. Please note that you're probably going to want to change all these images out to be your images specifically. So the images that we have here are just placeholders. Here's theme number 4. And, it's got more of kind of an orange look and feel, but that will be, again, changed to be your brand and your theme. And here's theme number 5. And you'll notice that we use just some pretty distinct colors, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. These colors are not indicative of what the themes are going to look long-term. We just wanted to show you how different they could be just in terms of branding. And then some of the themes have, little elements that not all of them have, like you notice these images bounced when we scroll down here. So pay attention to some of that because it might be relevant or applicable to you. Our themes are a licensing agreement. So this is a really important piece. Generally, when you build a website, and you probably have already gone through this, a good website starts at $5,000. So you're going to spend $5,000 on a new website, and sometimes double and triple and quadruple that. So if you spent more than $5,000, don't feel bad because a lot of schools do. Our websites are $97 a month flat. However, it's as everything with Neato, it's a licensing agreement. So if you were to cancel your membership, then you're also canceling your website. That's the exact same way that Wix works, Squarespace, GoDaddy Web Builder, Shopify, etc. If you want us to set the website up for you, there's a one-time setup fee of $1,000. And that's all in. So we will change everything that I just discussed, all of your content, imagery, pages, etc. If you want to do it yourself, then there's no setup fee at all, and you're just paying the $97 a month. What's cool about this is the $97 a month includes a full second plane membership. And like I said, if you sign up before the first of the year, before we change all our pricing, you'll get all of this at the $47 a month, which I think is a pretty significant value. I want to show you just briefly what the builder looks like. So we're licensing a tool ourselves called Duda. That's what all of our themes are built on top of. And it's a really amazing application, I think, in terms of what it allows for. But let me show you, here's theme number 1. And I just want to show you how easy it is to make changes and updates. Duda is a visual web builder. So unlike WordPress, which is an interpretive builder. So on WordPress, you open up WordPress and then you make the changes inside of the WYSIWYG, which is an acronym for what you see is what you get. You make your changes inside your WYSIWYG, and then you go to the front end and you see how those changes manifest. And that gets a little bit frustrating because what you see on the back end doesn't look like what you see on the front end. What's really nice about Duda is everything you're changing in a front end environment. So if I wanted to change this content, for instance, I can just type right here. And I can see how, oh, that just made that a whole new line. Now, of course, this is going to change when you go mobile responsive, but when you're inside the builder, the editor, you can sort of see the implications of those changes here as well. So this makes updates and changes so much easier. And it's not just the text-based changes. If I wanted to, for instance, let me click out of there. If I want to change this background image, I can do it right here. And I'll pick an image, just a random one. And now I've changed that image, and that took me a fraction of a second. On WordPress, that's probably a 10-minute job at a minimum, and that's if you know what you're doing. You've got a little undo feature, which is really nice. And then what's kind of cool too is if you've signed up for our unlimited maintenance program, you can make comments on the site and just let us know what you want done. So you could say something like, please change this banner image to, and then provide us with the link to the banner image, or upload the image if you have one available. So that's really a great kind of communication feature. If you wanted to add new sections, you just click on add section, and then there's a bunch of pre-built little widgets here available to you, text and image block, testimonial block, et cetera, et cetera. I don't expect most of our schools to dive this deep. I think some of our schools are going to rely on our theme. If you're having us do maintenance, you probably might never even end up in the admin panel. But if you're a strong do-it-yourselfer and you don't want to pay the money that it might take to customize a site, hopefully you can see how easy this is to use. I think that this is head and shoulders above some of the other website builders out there, which is why we chose to use it. And then what's nice about it for us is because we pay to be white label partners, we have the ability to go in there and manage your website on your behalf in a way that we wouldn't be able to do with some other platforms. So this is going live on the 1st, but it's available to our existing members now, which I'm really excited about. There's a lot of functionality that's available on Duda. For instance, if you wanted a password protected page for your parents, we could do that. If you want to integrate with Google Calendar, we can do that. And then there's some limitations too. So you might say, hey, for instance, custom fonts, something we chose not to support because it's just too hard, and every browser is different, every device is different. and different browser iterations are different. And so we're using only web-enabled fonts. There's 14 of them, and they're the fonts that you would want to use to make sure that people can see things consistently throughout their browsing experience. So there might be some functional limitations where you say, hey, I really want to do this, whatever this is, and we might come back and say that's not possible inside of the Duda Builder. So that's a really good and important disclaimer. As with anything that Neato does, there's no contracts. You can cancel anytime. Yeah, that's it. So I'm really excited about rolling this out. The fee includes everything that you need for your website. So it includes hosting. So, if you're paying for GoDaddy or SiteGround or One-on-One or whatever, that's now included. It includes, of course, the builder. It includes any support that you need. So that doesn't include maintenance, as you can imagine. Maintenance is included on our third plane. But if you have, a downtime issue, a hack issue, if you're getting a bunch of like weird ad hoc solicitations, that's all included. You don't have to have a hosting, you never have to call like GoDaddy's customer service again, for instance. And then it includes uptime monitoring. So we want to make sure that your website stays up and stays healthy. And that's all included in the fee as well. And then, of course, it includes the entire second plane membership. All of the themes are mobile responsive, which means parents are going to be able to engage with you on a desktop, a tablet, a mobile device. All the themes have been optimized for speed. And you'll notice as I page through some of these, they're lightning fast, which is really nice. It's, kind of a nice change of pace from WordPress, which, even our WordPress theme was, I'm sorry to say, a little slow, and it's because the builder that we used was very robust, and it had, all the information that you would want it to have, but it meant that it was, kind of bogged down a little bit. These are exceptionally fast. You can make changes yourself or ask us to make changes if you're using our maintenance program. All of their themes are optimized for search engine visibility. So where Neato doesn't provide SEO services, you should be able to perform SEO on yourself, and it has all of the tools that you would need in order to do that. They're all SSL enabled by default. So if you're paying for a separate SSL subscription, you can stop doing that. Our themes are going to have SSL subscriptions on top of it, and we will manage that for you. We'll install it for you. The themes are very customizable, as you saw. They're optimized for tours and admissions. So you'll notice ongoing calls to action. As a matter of fact, you probably just saw this here. If you're on the program page, every single one of these programs offers a schedule a tour. We have, seeded throughout the themes the opportunity to get tuition rates or, separate white paper downloads or, whatever it might be. If you see a call to action here that you don't want to use, for instance, you might say, hey, I don't want to gate my tuition. That's okay. We can use a different call to action. These are just examples. You might say, hey, I really don't want to use Calendly. Or I do want to use Calendly, and then we would replace the contact us form here with Calendly. So again, customizable, but they're optimized for what we know works from an admission standpoint. All of the content that you see, the written content, you can use. So we've had a writer create infant or program content. So here's our infant content that's available to you. And here's our toddler content that's available to you. Now, you're going to want to customize this, of course, for your mission, vision, values. Here's our about Montessori content. But what's nice is it gets the brainstorming out of the way. It sort of does the heavy lifting, and then you get to come in here and decide what it is you want to keep and what you want to throw away. Very feature rich from a perspective. Duda can do everything that most web builders can do with a few exceptions. And honestly, I can't even think of anything that we've come across that we're not able to do. So that's how robust it is. And then, of course, you have our monitoring and our support. The big disclaimers that I want to make is this is a subscription service. And I don't want to talk anybody out of it. Most web builders are subscription services. So just like Wix or Squarespace, if you cancel your subscription, you're canceling your website. But you also get out of paying, 5 or 10 grand for building your website, which I think is a pretty significant value. If you sign up for the third or fourth plane, this is available to you. And if you ever want to cancel the third or fourth plane, you can always just downgrade to the second plane, and that will allow you to maintain your website. We only support website fonts, which is really important. And can be limiting for schools that have chosen to use really specific or really obscure fonts. And then the second plane doesn't include any maintenance. So the changes that you're making yourself. And then if you want us to make changes, you can take us up on our maintenance program. And that's it. That's the long and short of it. That'll be a relatively short piece. If you're joining live and you have any questions, please feel free to, ask inside of Zoom webinar chat or on the Facebook news feed. And then if you're watching the recording and you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Right now, this is only available to existing members. So if you're a first through fourth plane member, then you have the opportunity to purchase this now, and you're purchasing it at our current second plane rate, which is $47 a month. Come the first of the year, and I'll be sending out an email tomorrow that talks about this, but we're changing all of our rates on the first of the year, and the second plane is going up to $97. And so I think if anybody was, if you're in the market for a website, now is the time to sign up. It generally takes, if you have us make the changes for you, it takes anywhere between 3 and 4 weeks to complete after you've submitted all of your onboarding forms. And then we can go live, and we'll take care of all the pointing your domain name and applying your SSL certificate and testing the new site and those types of things. And that's it. It's pretty short call, pretty short topic today, especially since I don't have my partner in crime. There's nobody to bounce ideas or things off of. Any questions before I close up and sign off? Any burning desires or anything I didn't cover? I'll give you a minute to chat in case there is. But otherwise, we're really excited about this. And one thing I should mention is we're applying geo exclusivity to the themes. So if a school decides to use a theme, we're not going to allow that theme to be sold in that school's geographic region. For obvious reasons. We don't want a bunch of people using the same website, right next door to each other. So, theme number 1 might be sold out in your region, and then you would have the opportunity to use themes 2 through 5. And the themes are so heavily customizable that my expectation would be that you're not going to be able to tell that 2 schools are on the same thing anyway, which is exactly the way WordPress and Shopify and Wix and Squarespace work. So, hopefully we can get pretty unique as far as the website implementation is concerned. So I'm really excited about this. I'm excited to see how it works. We've had quite a few schools tell us that changing over to our website theme made all the difference. And that alone, because our optimized for conversion has, done a lot to increase the number of inquiries they're getting in submissions and tours, etc. One thing I should mention is that if you sign up as a third plan member, the website includes the Montessori Starter Kit, which is really cool. It's with the Montessori Starter Kit, we install your analytics, install Calendly, install a lead magnet, set up your automated email nurture, set up your uptime monitoring, which is included in the second plane too. So it's a pretty significant value. And I see Deneen just joined. Deneen, I just ran through our website offering, and it doesn't look like we have any questions, but if you had anything that you think I need to touch on, please let me know. Otherwise, I think I'm going to call it a day and just call it a short coaching call. I showed all the templates, all 5 of them. And what I might do is maybe even in the link to the recording, I'll include a link to the page, which isn't live yet, so our members can see and page through the templates themselves and see which ones they like. Yeah, other than that, I think we're off to the races. I'm really excited about this. There's an email going up tomorrow that explains the pricing changes that will take place on the 1st. And Deneen's asking conversions actions that work best. Yes, so one of the things that we learned, which has been just such a significant learning lesson. So we run Google Ads for a lot of Montessori schools. And what we found was the schools, there's a common denominator in the schools that are successful, which is they have a lot of conversion actions, and there's specific conversion actions that work really well. And a conversion action is just something that you let a parent do on your website. So for instance, if you have a lead magnet in the bottom left-hand corner of your site, specifically a white paper, that tends to work really well to generate leads. If you're using a quiz, is Montessori right for my child as exit intent, that works really well. If you're allowing people to schedule a tour using Calendly and you have Calendly's floating button in the bottom right-hand corner, that works really well. On your admissions page, if you're getting tuition, that works really well. And so we have close to 10 specific conversion actions that we encourage schools to use, and our themes are built around these conversion actions, because we know what parents want to do, since we've had 2.5 years doing this, running a bunch of ads. So if we build your site for you, what we're going to do is strongly encourage that you avail all of the available conversion actions, and that will be included in the website theme build out, which I'm excited about, because I think that alone could really help capture a lot of traffic for schools. Even if you're not running ads, the traffic you're getting organically is just going to position you to capture that traffic in a better way. So that'll be really exciting. Any other questions, Deneen? Anything I'm missing? Going once, going twice. Awesome. So again, I'll include a link to our Montessori website theme page in the description of the video, and you'll have an email tomorrow explaining some of the price changes, which we're pretty excited about. And as always, really grateful to everybody for being Marketing members. Y'all are awesome. Can't believe it's the end of the year already, but excited to see what we do with 2020. So reach out if you have any questions. Thanks.